If you want to buy cheap, reliable NBA 2K19 MT, please go to dvdj.com, use the code CRUSH, and if you're not familiar with the process, you can contact them on Twitter. Both links will be in the description. Before we get into my playoff predictions, these are for the people that have been asking about it. I got a couple comments yesterday saying they didn't know how to download a draft class now and start today. And I've even have some people comment say that start today is crashing for them now. I've been preaching this for the last couple weeks. Maybe even the last month. I told you guys, if that is happening to you, I do apologize, but I told you guys, make sure to start today while it's still going, and then turn autosave off. Make a file with autosave off. That way you can keep doing rebuilds or whatever you want to do in the off season. Turn autosave off and you can just restart, basically. So I have autosave off. If it's still not, if you're still able to get on start today, just fine. Make a start today file, get on there, turn autosave off, and then just click save real quick, and then every time you exit out, after, even if you get into 2025 season, every time you exit out, it'll come back to this point. You could just keep using that file, because I feel like once we get into the playoff games, start today is going to crash. It just does, unless if you have an autosave file, then that's fine. But this is how you download a draft class and start today now. So you go to prospect scouting, and then you go view prospect card, which is R3, or I don't know what it would be on the Xbox controller. I totally forgot, but you know, R3 on the PS4 controller. I think you guys could figure that out. Or not R3, not R3. I don't know why I said R3. Click X, just click X or A on Xbox controller and click load and download draft class, and there you go. That's all you got to do. That's all you do, and boom, that's it. So now that that's settled, hope you guys could find some help out of that. Now let's get into my prediction. Guys, now we're officially going to predict the playoffs this year. So I wanted to get this video out bright and early, so I'm probably going to try to upload this around 10 a.m. my time. But we got, basically, I'm going to break down every matchup, maybe even second round matchups. I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to more focus on the first round. Let's see how long this video is. But starting off with Golden State and Los Angeles Clippers. I got the Golden State Warriors in 4 games. Unfortunately, the Clippers have had a really good season. I just don't think they match up well against the Warriors. It's just no one really expected the Clippers to even make it, especially after they traded Tobias Harris. But I have to give my respect to the Clippers. They did make it despite losing their best player at the trade deadline. You know, they have Lou Williams, Gallinari. They might be able to steal one game, but I'm going to go with the Warriors in 4. I think the Warriors have been coasting all season, and I think they've been taking it easy. As soon as the playoffs start, I think we'll see some deadly Golden State Warriors. So I'm going to say Clippers in 4, or not Clippers in 4, Warriors in 4. And we're going to go to the Eastern Conference side of things, to Milwaukee and Detroit. And I'm just going to go back and forth to talk about each conference. So Milwaukee and Detroit, I'm going to say the Bucks in 4. If Blake Griffin is healthy, I would say the Bucks in 5. But Blake Griffin may not even play. It's not been announced, but a lot of people have been talking about it. A lot of people have been saying, I don't see how your leg doesn't move one day and you're ready to just ball out the next day. I mean, that is very true. I guess Blake Griffin has a very sore knee or something like that. But Milwaukee matches up against, well, the Pistons. They beat them in the regular season series 4-0. That doesn't mean anything. I'm not saying it does, but I think Milwaukee might get through the Pistons in 4, maybe 5. If Blake Griffin is healthy, I can see the Pistons winning at least 1 game. Maybe they win 6, or maybe they win 2. But I'm going to say Milwaukee in 4. But if Blake Griffin is able to play the whole series, maybe 5. But I'm going to go Milwaukee in this round. Sorry, Pistons fans, but hope you get Mike Conley this offseason. Anyway, we got Houston and Utah. A lot of people have been giving Utah a lot of respect, and I probably won't be in this video because I just think last year Houston and Utah, it went to 5 games. And Houston, I just expect to do the same thing. Maybe they're not the same team they were last year, but they're damn near close. I think Houston is just going to exploit Rudy Gobert again. Put James Harden in the pick and roll. Maybe Utah is able to get away from that and able to counter that. But I think Houston's going to probably win in 6 games here. I just don't think the Jazz are going to win this series. I know some people have been saying they have a chance, but with Ricky Rubio possibly not healthy, he's been struggling with injury as of late. I just think we got probably Houston winning this in 6. Let's move on to the Boston and the Indiana Pacers. So Boston, I'm going to go Boston in 5. I know Indiana has had a great season, and Boston has been having the opposite. But as far as, you know, what we expected out of Boston, I'm still going to go Boston in 5. I think Indiana not having a star is going to hurt them in the playoffs. Maybe it'll make them better, but I just don't think so. Some people have picked Indiana, but I still think you're crazy. I think Boston is still a good team, and we've forgotten how good they are. just because of how the season's gone. Maybe the playoffs start and they just turn it around. Maybe they don't. We'll see. But I'm going to go Boston in 5 here. Next, we got my favorite team, the Portland Trailblazers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think, I'm not even saying this because I'm a Blazers fan. I think this is going to be the most entertaining series out of all of these. Maybe Denver and San Antonio could be entertaining, though. But I think Philly and Brooklyn could be entertaining. And so could Houston and Utah, don't get me wrong. But I think Portland and OKC have had close matchups all year. OKC did sweep the regular season series. But I promise you, as a Blazers fan, I was watching all those games. And I even went to one of them this year. And OKC, it was a close game every time. It went down to the wire every time. Never a blowout. Portland and OKC were always right into it to the end. OKC just took it every time, which we do got to pay attention to. Nurkic not being out obviously hurts us a lot. It does suck. I wish he was healthy. Maybe we could win this series. But if I want to be realistic, of course, I'd pick Oklahoma City here maybe. But I still think Portland could do it, guys. I'm being honest. Everybody's picking Oklahoma City. And that's fine. That's fine. I wouldn't disagree with you. Oklahoma City is a very good team. But there is one factor, and that's Paul George. He hasn't been 100% since the All-Star break. Shoulder injury or something like that. A lot of people, McCollum's coming back. Hopefully he looks the same as he did in the regular season before he got hurt. If McCollum had that season-ending surgery or season-ending injury as well as Nurkic, I wouldn't give us a chance. But I'm gonna say this goes to 7 games. I'm gonna say this is a 7-game series, but I'm gonna go with. I wouldn't be shocked if Oklahoma City won, but just because I'm a Blazers fan, I'm gonna pick the Blazers, obviously. So let's move on to Philly and Brooklyn. Philly and Brooklyn, I think this is gonna go to 6. Brooklyn has played Philly pretty decently this year. Philly struggles to guard guards under like some certain height, but they can't guard speedy point guards. They've struggled with that. D'Angelo Russell and Spencer Dinwiddie are great in that category, so I think Brooklyn could steal a couple games, but hopefully Joel Embiid is healthy for the playoffs and the whole series. Maybe they sit him out this series, I don't know, but I think Philly will still win this in games. So Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler, and Tobias Harris should step it up, and Joel Embiid, if he's healthy, that's just going to be another handful. So next, move on to Denver and San Antonio, which I think is the most unpredictable series out of them all. Denver not being as experienced, they're younger. San Antonio with all the experience, and they're older. So it's basically the battle of the opposites, and this is going to be a very fun series to watch. Some people even pick San Antonio to upset Denver just because Greg Popovich, experience in the playoffs. Denver has no experience, and Mike Malone has no coaching experience in the playoffs. So I could definitely see where you're coming from, but I don't know, man. I still think Denver could win this in 7 games. I'm gonna say this goes to 7, and if San Antonio is able to beat Denver, I would not be shocked. But I'm gonna go ahead and pick Denver, and I wouldn't be shocked if San Antonio won by any means. So, and then we got Toronto and Orlando. I'm gonna say in 4. Orlando, no, they just made it to the playoffs. The first time since the Dwight Howard days, but very happy for them. But I still think Toronto is one of the best teams in the East. Kawhi sat out a lot of the season. Not really a lot of it, but he sat out quite a bit. And he's going to be the freshest, I think, in the playoffs. I really think Toronto is going to come out firing, prove to everyone why they are not the laughing stock in the playoffs. Because, I mean, the last few years, they've basically been kind of not really the laughing stock, I would say. But, you know, they haven't lived up to our expectations. So, I'm going to go ahead and simulate that first round, and we'll get to the second round and see what 2K thinks. So we got the Blazers have been eliminated 5, and whoa, okay, so it went kind of fast, but they went to Golden State and Utah. So I mean, I'm really not going to predict the second round, or I mean, I will actually. So based off my predictions, I had Golden State and Houston, and then I had Denver and Portland, I guess, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Oklahoma City. I'm gonna say Denver probably beats Portland or Oklahoma. I don't know, man. I probably won't worry about the second round. But as far as this one, Milwaukee and Boston, I think Milwaukee's going to get their revenge and beat Boston in 6 or 7. Boston struggles on the road, and not having Marcus Smart is going to hurt them. And I think Milwaukee might have Malcolm Brogdon back, maybe even Mirotic back by the time the second round starts. I could be wrong. I didn't fact check that. And then we got Toronto and Philly. I think Toronto will win in probably 6 or 7. I think Toronto is just the better team. And then Toronto probably beating Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals in like 6 or 7. I think Milwaukee I think Toronto is just a very good team. I really think, like I said, I really think they want to prove a lot of us wrong this year about what we've said about them in the past. But Golden State and Houston, I'm going to say like Golden State wins in 6, maybe even 7. Maybe Houston can surprise us and almost beat them again. But I just think having DeMarcus Cousins there is going to be a lot more of a handful. And Houston has kind of lost out on their defensive players last year and like Trevor Ariza and stuff. And then that leads us to either Golden State versus Oklahoma City or Golden State versus Denver or in Portland. I still think in all 3 of those matchups, they would probably win in 6, probably, maybe even 5 against Denver. I still think Golden State wins it, makes the NBA Finals. Toronto and Golden State. That should be a very fun NBA Finals, but I still think I'm going to take Golden State winning the championship this year, unfortunately. And let's go ahead and see if that happens. And then Golden State wins in 7 games over the Sixers. But I think Golden State beats the Raptors in probably 6 or something like that. So anyways, guys, thank you guys for these are my playoff predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your guys' predictions down in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys thought of me predicting here. I mean, you guys may not agree. I'm sorry if I eliminated your team. But this Crushables, and I'm saying peace.